Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Chan. Welcome to lesson number 13, the third grammar trick on content class. And this time we will start with subordinators. So let's get started. Subordinators in content class is method declaratives or that declarative versus bare declaratives. Okay, he knows that you're here. He knows you're here. Okay, this one is expanded declarative or that declarative. And this one is bare declarative. Noun expandable versus expandable. Let's check. Preposition, preposition. Preposition, a verb. Okay, for preposition or verb, yeah, they can take declarative content clause as its complement. And for this one and this one, you cannot use that. So it's non-expandable. And for this preposition, that is optional. And for this verb, yep, that is optional. So that must or may appear, yeah, 4 bullets. Let's check. When the content clause is subject or before the matrix verb, let's check. A subject. They were happy? Yeah, a subject. You've got to use that. It's not quite obvious. And then this one, okay, this is the object. For this verb, I still can't believe that he really intended to lie. And we can use preposed object. So the object is moved to the beginning of the sentence. And this is a coordinator that can lead a whole sentence. So this is at the beginning of a sentence. We've got to use that. Okay, the original sentence is, I believe that he really intended to lie. An optional subordinator that. And we can reverse their situation. So this is the main clause. And this is a supplementary parenthetical. Yeah, we have other parenthetical examples like I think, I believe, it seemed. So the parenthetical is kind of a supplementary structure, not a main one. So this is the main one in parenthetical. The content clause is acting as a adjunct. He appealed to us to bring his lamb to the altar so that sacrifice might be done. So it's a purpose adjunct. So for this kind of purpose adjunct, we've got to use that to lead a declarative content clause. The content clause is complement to this comparative then or as. Let's check. This one is a typical comparative clause. So that cannot be used. But for this one, I'd rather that. Okay. Would rather can take a that content clause with optional that. But I prefer this than this argument. So first argument, second argument. Both of them are content clause. So you've got to use that to indicate that this is a content clause, not a comparative clause. You've got to use that. And the fourth situation, let's check. Optional or must be omitted. Let's check. Very short cognitive verb that can take a that declarative content clause. Very short, optional that. Who does it think? Okay, this relative pronoun serves two purposes. First, object of this one. So she thinks someone who is. So this one serves two purposes. Who is. So there cannot be another who or that here. It must be omitted. So that cannot be used here. although it's a relative clause. Because of the existence of this, the subject must be omitted. And this one is also similar. You cannot use this one because this is the subject. The one is the subject for this clause. And this is a relative clause starting from this word. He thinks you said she recommended. And then colon clause. So it's a colon clause within this bigger relative clause. And there are many layers in between. That's okay. And this structure is called unbounded dependency construction. Why dependency? Because it's acting as a modifier. Modifier to modify the previous noun. That's what a relative clause is, right? As a dependent or modifier, modifying the previous noun. And it's unbounded. So there can be many layers that sits in between the core and the noun phrase, the president. Then next page. I think, yep, very short, so that is optional. If you use that, then it's formal. If you don't use the subordinator that, then it's casual or informal. She said that, again, short, communicative word, optional that, formal that you use that, casual that you don't have to use that. And then extraposed subject. You've got to use it, dummy pronoun as the subject, but the real subject, the real body of the subject is here. And it's a specified be, and it's a short subjective predictive PC, SPC. In this case, that is optional. If you use the subordinator that, it's more formal. If you don't use that, it's casual. And how about this one? Let's check. These are the situations that you must use that subordinator. Let's check. Mention that, but if you use to me, then you've got to use that. Distresses me that, yeah, the existence of this object, you've got to use that. And the second reason is that pretty long. This one is pretty long. This one is shorter, but the existence of this, you've got to use that. This is a noun complement. A noun that can take a that complement clause. That complement declarative clause as a noun complement. And this noun is pretty long, so we've got to use that. And this is the adjunct that usually happens at the end of the content clause. If we move this adjunct forward in this content clause, then you've got to use that, because that is not immediately followed by a subject. In this case, you've got to use that. It's possible that first argument and that the second argument, then that and that you've got to use. This motion, that, nothing omitted, so it's a content clause, a noun complement, and that's downgraded to become a supplement. So you've got to use that. Yeah. A noun complement, that content clause, and it's downgraded. You've got to use that. And let's check the next. Mandatory. That's a kind of declarative content clause. Mandatory clause. So if it's a mandatory or subjunctive clause, let's check. Yeah, we can first check the plain verb. Then it's mandative. Then we've got to use that. The first priority is check the counter clause. And then we check the verb to see whether we need to use this or not. And mandatory because of this plain verb be. But hey, this is conflict. This verb cannot take a mandatory structure, mandatory counter clause. Sorry, because of this verb. Illegal. Why not? Why it's not ahead for this subordinator? Okay. Why this one belongs to this? And this is the big boss that can take a that counter clause. But still, that, the subordinator that belongs to this one. So this is the first boss, this is second boss, and this is the child. So omissability, yeah, the that can be omissed because it's not that important. Regarding licensing, okay, first we consider the counter clause. If it's a mandatory, then we've got to use that. And then we can check the matrix verb. If this verb doesn't allow a counter clause, sorry, it's illegal. So check first the counter clause and then check the matrix verb. And regarding position of preposed adjunct, yeah, let's check this sentence. If it was calling me, I should never hear his voice. Okay, so this is acting as a subordinate counter clause for this adjective afraid that can take a counter clause. But within this counter clause, the adjunct is preposed and downgraded to become a supplementary. Okay, so afraid that, or that I should, well, that belongs to this counter clause. So that should go with this counter clause. That should not go with this. That's the first boss, but the second boss is higher priority to take that. And how about these two subordinators, whether or interactive if? Let's check. These two are also subordinators. So, subordinator, okay. Think that can take close interrogative, declare content clause, open interrogative. Yep. And this is a kind of marker. Of course, this is a marker. And this serves marker and a meaning, a function. That means yes, no. So this one cannot be omitted, although it's a subordinate, but it has its own meaning. And this is a subordinator, but no own meaning, so it can be omitted. Yeah, another kind of open interrogative clause. And this is a kind of marker for interrogative, open interrogative counter clause. Again, we have a adjunct that's downgraded. To become a supplementary. And again, the subordinate goes with this one. This does not go with the verb. Yeah, just like a declarative counter clause. So for a close interrogative counter clause, the subordinator whether goes with the counter clause, not with the verb. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it and see you in the next video. Bye bye.